So many people suffer from anxiety. Today, I'd like to show you a yoga pose that might be able to help with that just a little bit. Of course, if anxiety is something serious that you or a loved one are facing, I do highly recommend that you see your healthcare provider. But if you're just looking for a little something for a child, maybe that's just a little wound up about a test that's coming up, or if you yourself are having trouble falling asleep or are stressed out about a meeting coming up, something along those lines, maybe you try child's pose. There are lots of options that you can take with this pose, so I will be showing you a few different variations. First is the traditional version that when you Google child's pose is what you'll see. Usually starting from a hands and knees position. I like to keep my legs parallel. You'll see some folks will recommend knees wide and big toes touching in the back. Personally, I prefer to keep my legs parallel. And then what you'll do is start to let your hips sink back in the direction of your heels. Maybe you actually come down like this, maybe not. If not, that's okay. And what I would recommend is grabbing some folded blankets and placing those on the top of the back of your calves. And see if you can feel pretty grounded, pretty connected there. Second step is to lower your chest and your head towards the ground. They don't have to come to the ground. And if they don't, again, that's fine. You bring the ground to you. Maybe it's a block. You'll usually see this pose with arms out front. That's fine if that feels okay for your shoulders, but maybe you consider bringing your arms along your sides. And you rest and breathe here any number of breaths that you would like. When you are finished, bringing some strength back into your hands, pressing yourself up. So that's one variation of child's pose. Another one that you might consider involves a bolster. And if you don't have a bolster, maybe you have one of those big body pillows at home. And for that, then you bring the bolster between your legs, maybe between your knees, and let your body come forward onto the bolster. You can let your head go to one side or the other, depending on you. You could also consider bringing the bolster higher with a couple of blocks. And of course, if you don't have blocks, you could use some thick books, perhaps. And this can be kind of nice to rest like this and maybe hugging onto the bolster. So there's lots more space between my chest and the ground here. So that's another option for child's pose. Or guess what? You flip it on your back. You're still taking your spine in the same direction. So you could lie down and draw your legs in. Maybe you hold on to the shins area. Maybe you hold on behind your thighs. Consider lowering your chin towards your chest, softening as best you can, and breathe here. If your arms get tired, you could take a yoga belt or a bathrobe belt or a scarf, anything along those lines. Bring that behind your thighs, hold on to that, and that might allow you to remain in the pose just a little bit longer. So that's an option. And the last one to consider is taking it in a seat, maybe with your knees bent and your feet flat, arms around your legs, or maybe even resting on a bolster and folding forward that way. So those are some suggestions if you're a little bit anxious about something and are looking for a yoga posture that might allow you to downregulate and become a little more calm. So give this a try, and I would love to see you either in the studio for a class or for a private session or a duet session. So feel free to contact me and I'll let you know all the details. So rest well.